Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, as usual, we are going to interrupt the tournament with one of these little in-between videos. So, about a week or so ago, I talked about picking up, well, it's probably been a couple weeks, man. Like I said, all these darn videos, they're all bleeding together. Shoot. I talked about getting a bona fide Holy Grail item in. Now, when we talk Holy Grail items, now there is a difference between Holy Grail compared to a Grail item. Simply put, a Grail item is something that is readily available on the market. It's something that you commonly come across on a regular basis, but maybe it's something that you desperately want, but maybe you're not willing to pay up for it. What's a good example? Maybe you want a Terry Funk mint on card LJN, and it's on the market and it's selling for $500, but you're looking at it like, you know what, that's absolutely ridiculous. You're seeing 20 different people selling that LJN Terry Funk, but you don't want to pay no $500. Maybe the cheapest that you can see is $450. You're like, ain't worth it. One day, Terry Funk goes up on auction and you win it for like $142.50. Yep. I miss those days. There are so many LJN figures that I bought as buy it nows, or maybe I sent a best offer, paid hundreds of dollars for those figures, and later on they come up for auction and a fraction of what I paid for my figures. So I hate that. That drives me nuts. But where a Holy Grail item is something that you desperately want, maybe it's available here and there, like a mint on card Hasbro Dusty Rhodes, which does come up from time to time, and actually comes up more often than not. But the problem is, it's a ludicrous price. You're talking $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for the figure. So, majority of people are not going to pay that crap. And I've said it before. I think most people that put those figures up on their sites for $3,000 when they know darn well it's never going to sell for $3,000. It's to basically bring in viewers. If I'm a seller on eBay and I list Dusty Rhodes mint on card for $3,000, it's to bring in people to my site so they can look at it and see what else I have in my shop to buy. So I don't think it's necessarily a, hey, I'm trying to sell this. If it sells, great, but realistically, I know I'm not pricing it to sell type of deal. So that is a legitimate Holy Grail item. Yes, it's readily available, but it's a crazy expensive type of deal. Or, simply put, it's an item that you will never see come up for sale. I do have the latter. Recently, from a seller, I just found this guy on Facebook a couple weeks ago, and I could not believe the price he had listed. And I'm like, you know what, there's got to be a scam. There's got to be something wrong with this item. There is no way that this particular figure could be selling for that price. But you know, I saw that he had a friend in comment on Facebook. I reached out to one of those contacts. I'm like, hey man, have you dealt with this guy before? Yeah. Thumbs up. I'm like, hey, that's all I need to know. Reach out to the guy. I'm like, hey, if this is still available, I will buy it from you right now. Literally within a matter of minutes, we were able to work out a deal. PayPal the money. Within a few days, I got the package in the mail. One of my major Holy Grail items. WCW mint on card Series 2 UK exclusive of Sid Vicious. Now, everybody that watches my channel already knows the deal. Sid Vicious Series 1, the black singlet, is a figure that I had as a kid. It was my most utilized playable action figure. To this day, still my George Washington of action figures, of wrestling figures particularly. And to get this figure on card, it puts me one step closer to finishing the mint on card collection. Now, when I look at my Series 2 collection, I'm still missing Arn Anderson. on individual card. I am still missing a robed Lex Luger, or Lex Luger with entrance gear, however you want to describe it. Now, there is a seller in the UK, I believe. In fact, I think I found him on Facebook as well. He's asking for like $17.50 Great British pound, and that's over $2,000. He said somebody offered him 2,000 pounds for it. I'm like, look, I believe it, but that's just way out of my wheelbarrow right now. I can't do it right now. Want the figure desperately, but here's the thing though. He told me he recently sold his own Sid Vicious for 45 pounds. I'm like, wait a minute. That's like less than $100. I got this for $400. I was ecstatic. I thought I got a fantastic deal. So he's telling me he sold his for 45 pounds. I'm like, no way. But he probably sold it locally. And you got to realize, to get a UK card in the US, you're not gonna be paying the same amount. It's like Mannix figures, or it's like the bootleg Simba figures. You can get Simba figures all day long in Europe for $10, but you get them here in the States, you're paying $40, $50, $60 before shipping and all that. So did I pay up for it? I don't know. Based on what he told me, yeah, I kind of feel like I did, but when I first paid $400, I'm like, I thought it was a steal of a price. I know in the past, when I tried to reach out to one of my buddies, he operates out of both UK and Japan. Well, he's UK based, but every time I buy from him, his packages come out of Japan, so I think he goes back and forth. And he was trying to sell me one of his Sid Vicious figures, but he wanted close to $1,000 for it. So, like I said, I was comfortable with $400. I thought it was a very fair price. So, and like I said, it puts me one step closer. This is not just a Grail item. This is, in my opinion, a holy grail piece, because you do not see a lot of Series 2 figures, and particularly a Sid Vicious, come up on the market often, and realistically not at all. I think I've seen more LJN Black Card Ultimate Warrior figures on the market than I have of this one, so that just speaks volumes. And to find a mint on card LJN Ultimate Warrior is about as rare as it comes. So so with that addition, Arn Anderson on single card, the entrance gear Lex Luger, and the Steiner Brothers. Now, I do need both Steiner Brothers on individual card as well as tag team set. And I also need entrance gear Sting and entrance gear Luger on tag team set. But right now, I'm not really focusing on the tag teams. I've got like, what, 5 different tag team cards, 6 different tag team cards, if you count the Freebirds in that red box with the modulator. But even the Freebirds, even they've got multiple tag team packages, so it's not just the red box. They also come on the white card backing as well. So that's kind of messed up. So I just didn't want this to be a one figure review video. So I decided I wanted to wait until I got some more things to kind of show off. Well, several weeks ago, we did the Series 5 Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. Big rubber guys of the British Bulldogs, right? And we looked at Davey Boy and Dynamite Kid in blue pants. Now, after that review, I went back, I looked at some photos, and I saw them in blue pants. Now, during my favorite LJN tournament, you saw custom figures that I have where they're in blue pants. And I'm like, hold on a minute. I remember ordering these figures with blue pants, and I actually like those a whole lot more than the white pants. So ever since then, I've been trying to get those variants. Sure enough, I did win a couple of these figures on auction in blue pants. So, and the great thing about this it's actually showing you every single figure. So we're up here to Series 5 with the release of the white pants British Bulldogs, right? But it takes you all the way to Series 6, 7, 8. I think we're up to 9. So see, 5, that's 6. This is 7. I think Legion of Doom and Matt Hardy were 8. No. Dusty Rhodes and Powers of Pain were 7, which means Legion of Doom and Matt Hardy were 8, and Ethan Page would have been 8, and then the Bloody Ric Flair. I don't know where you put Ric Flair. The Bloody Ric Flair. Do you consider him to be Series 9? Do you consider him to be part of Series 8? I mean, is he just a regular one-off? I mean, are you considering him to be part of Series 3? I don't know. That's kind of weird. So, I do like the new box sets. I like the fact that they include all of the figures. Maybe this was just a specific design that they had planned up, but maybe the white pants were always the main look. So this one I said was Davey Boy, and looking inside, I do notice that unlike the white pants release, these figures in blue pants do not come with Matilda. They are the exact same figures, except they change out the color scheme. But man, freaking British Bulldogs look so freaking good. I actually, in this package I just got in, I also got in, now I did get in another set of the 2 Hacksaws and Magnum TA. Obviously, we've already done reviews of that Series 6. Now, I'm thinking I have to go back and buy a lot of these other figures because I'm kind of wanting to do with Big Rubber Guys, now that there are so many figures, what I'm doing with the main LJN wall, and that's kind of have them all kind of displayed and laid out the same way. But this is Davey Boy. Kind of give you a up close. The figures look great. They really do. Now, in comparison to like original LJNs, they're smaller figures. They're much thinner figures, and not all of Big Rubber Guys figures have the best poses. So that's one thing I don't like about the British Bulldogs. Original LJN or even from Big Rubber Guys, their poses always suck. But at least the original LJN, even with the one arm up stupid pose, at least it was somewhat playable, right? They are display only. And I've talked about this before. When you look at the package, right up in the corner, it says, not a toy, ages 18 and up. Right up here. So, when you look at these different companies that manufacture LJN style figures or Hasbro style figures, they're not making them for kids. They're not making them with the mindset that they're going to be used for play. So, they are generally, they're art. And that's how I use them. I put them on display, and they're essentially wallpaper for my room. So they look really nice. Also, I've been getting in a lot of these guys. Now, I did not pick these up from the Major Bendy's Major Wrestling Figure Podcast store directly. This actually came from a store out of Texas, and I bought an absolute ton of these figures, but I only brought a few that I want to show off, because the rest of them, I really don't care about them. Like, seriously, when I got them in, they're inside my storage room. They're on the white shelf, and they're actually hidden in the back behind everything else, because these figures, they're not really that important to me. but the ones I want to show are kind of cool, so I figured I'd bring them out. And these are, like the other figures, easy release card backs. Now, I got Macho Man. I am definitely at some point going to get Demolition. I actually thought I won those on auction, but I guess I was wrong. And a lot of these major bendies, they do come with their own trading cards. So, I want to say in early 2022, I was on eBay, right? And a lot of you guys heard this story already. There was this really huge, nice wrestling ring, and it came up with all of these WWE Just Toys Bend-Ems. The Bend-Ems that you got in the mid-1990s. The ones that just followed the Hasbro line. And I probably had a good 30 or 40 of them, maybe. Maybe I'm exaggerating the number, I don't know. But there was a lot of them. I had no use for those figures. Like, I had absolutely zero interest in those rubber figures. LJNs were fantastic, but the bendies were the Bend-Ems, they're garbage. Now later on, of course, when I started collecting the LJN bendies, that was still part of the LJN line. The thumb wrestlers, that was part of the LJN line. Those were fun. And I didn't even like thumb wrestlers as a kid. I despised thumb wrestlers. But as I got more into collecting more and more of LJN, not just the 8-inch guys, but the bendies as well as the thumb wrestlers, yeah, they became some of the more enjoyable collections. But this past Christmas, I was lying in bed, and it was like 11 p.m. on New Year's Eve, or on Christmas Eve. And I've told this story before. So just before then, I think I was in one of my spare bedrooms. I was lying in bed. I had a big TV mounted to the wall, of course, and I was watching YouTube, and I came across this video where they were talking about different toy lines. I think they were talking about that particular video was about the Bend-Ems, and in 2022, maybe 2023, I had been selling a bunch of them. I pretty much sold all of them off, and I think the only figure I'd kept was Yokozuna, because Yokozuna. I had no interest. I didn't care about them. I just wanted that order because it came with that big giant ring, which was really nice. And I basically sold those figures for pennies compared to what they probably should have gone for. Like I would sell a lot, like 6 figures for like $25 or $24 or something. I think they should have gone for a whole lot more. And suddenly I watched this video, and they were talking about the Bend-Ems and how they replaced Hasbro and how they came out in 95, ran until like 2001, and kind of talk about the different releases and the 12 or 14 different series or whatnot. And something about that video really struck a chord with me, and it really piqued my interest. And all of a sudden, I had this huge need to add 1990s Just Toys Bend-Ems to the collection. So it's 11 o'clock at night, and I'm on eBay, and I'm just putting in offer after offer after offer after offer. Bid. Buy it now, buy it now, buy it now, buy it now, buy it now. And I had between the buy it nows, the bids, the offers, I probably had close to 30 orders between like 11 p.m. and like 2 a.m. that Christmas Day. And over the next couple of weeks, leading into New Year's, probably even later, probably into the first or second week of New Year's, I was just buying up massive amounts of Bend-Ems. And it wasn't just loose figures. I mean, I was buying them mostly carded, but I like to have loose figures on top of carded figures, right? So, and you guys seen my storage room, and you've seen those at the top shelf, or the first 2 shelves actually. Massive. Incredible. I mean, I really want to have that displayed in like the main display room, but that storage room is really the only area I could really display it properly. So when Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, these bendies are really like the first set of figures that they were coming out with. They were coming out with these guys long before the LJN 8-inch style figures. But and you know, these are still like their bread and butter, I guess. Even though I think the big rubber guys are technically the highlight of what they offer. Now, obviously, this particular Macho Man, I really enjoy this one, and I brought this one out because he's Hasbro. That's exactly what this is. This is the Series 5 Hasbro figure Macho Man. So, I mean, does it move? See, the arms are like super tight and whatnot. So these are all, they're not playable figures. They're display only. Looks great. I think certain characters, anytime you come across a Hulk Hogan or an Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker, Bret Hart, Macho Man, Shawn Michaels, these are characters that you gotta get them anytime you get the opportunity, because they will always be coveted. Legion of Doom is a great tag team. You always gotta get Legion of Doom or Demolition characters because their figures are amazing and they're very coveted. What's another really good one? I think I got 2 of these. Sergeant Slaughter. So, and here is the pack. I'm trying to think if the other one I have is exactly like this or if this is different. And the Slaughter card. So obviously it's not an exact replica, but it gives you that 87, I think, and I could be wrong on the year. 1987 Hasbro Sergeant Slaughter, that most people just simply call the LJN Sergeant Slaughter, but it's not LJN. It's made by Hasbro. And it could have been like 89, but I don't think so. I think the LJN style Hasbro Sergeant Slaughter, I think that came out not at the end of the decade, but I think it towards the end. I think 87 is about accurate. And anyone out there who has a little bit more knowledge, if you guys, if I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me. So, very reminiscent. And again, I've always said, man, as an Army guy myself, anytime I see any type of soldier-esque figure, and that's why I gravitate towards the Sergeant Slaughters and the Corporal Kirchners of the world, right? Even when I look at someone like my Colonel Mustafa LJN Custom, yeah, it's an Iraq soldier, but I just think the outfit, they did it so well and made it perfect. So, and his arms, again, I mean, you could probably move them up a little bit here and there. I mean, it's tight, but I'm sure if you sit there and play with it, it could eventually move, but I'm not going to sit there and mess with these guys. Because I have this is a second figure, I might leave this one out of the package, but generally, if I have loose figures like this, I want to have at least a bunch of figures that I could kind of combine together. You know, those plastic stands or acrylic stands that I have, where I could fit like 3 of these guys on each row. Now, if I get like 11 more figures, duplicates, yeah, I'll do that. But for now, I'll keep it carded until I can add some more to it. What did I do with the other piece? This is a good one. This is Matt Cardona. I like this one because I like the crown, and I like the fact that it's actually signed. So that's pretty awesome. So, what time are we at? 24 minutes. You know, I think I'll make this about a 30-minute video. I got a couple more female wrestlers, and we'll call it a day. Back of the card. Front. Now, I was thinking maybe this was possibly like, I don't know, like everything was kind of like automatically drawn on, like from the production or something. But no, that looks like it's hand signed. I'm disappointed. This one does not come with the trading card. Thought they all did. whatever. Interesting. It's got like some kind of like plastic wrap over the face. I'm thinking they put that on there to keep the crown on top of the head. I also find this interesting. I don't see it on... Oh, yes, I do. Okay. I didn't really notice it on the other figures, maybe because of the paint. But they got like this little stencil on the back. So I think that's freaking awesome. And this right here would make an absolutely killer LJN if they were to blow this one up. I'm thinking in Series 1 when they came out with the Matt Cardona Big Rubber guys, I'm trying to think if this is the exact color scheme. A funny thing I find about this figure, I'm always talking about guys like Tully Blanchard and Mike Sharp and Razor Ramon, right? With like with their LJN figures that have like the dirt on the chest for chest hair. And I said, all you gotta do, get yourself a little black marker and start putting dots on the chest, you know, and that's gonna give you really solid chest hair. That's exactly what they did with this figure. And I'm telling you, man, I like that better than... Not to be insulting, I'm just saying I just like that. I just think it looks more authentic to be, if we're being honest about it. Because it actually looks like real chest hair, where that just looks like they rolled around on dirt, essentially. I gotta go back and look at that Series 1, because maybe it is the same color scheme. In fact, I might not have to. It looks more purple in the back of this one. Yeah, it looks like it's all purple. It doesn't look like it's like a mixed blue or purple on here, but that's fine. So you already got a really good Matt Cardona figure, so... But I think they're all like Macho Man, and that kind of ruined it for me. Otherwise, it would have been a fantastic Series 1 figure. But Series 1, Big Rubber guys, still right there, the higher echelon of their figures. You know what? I'm not going to take these both out of... I'm just going to stop with one more figure, because we're getting close to 30 minutes. Chelsea Green, and... Yeah, she's got her own trading card. But I'm going to take this one out, because I think this one looks really solid. This one's Trinity. Have no idea who Trinity is. I just thought it was an awesome looking figure. And card. So, Trinity. Again, I bought like probably a dozen, maybe 15 of these cards. Am I going to go out and try and acquire every single one of these? With my mind, it's probably... You would think I might, but I don't know. Because even if you go through the podcast store directly, these guys are selling for like $35 a pop. And when they come out every so often, and they're selling 4 figures per series, and you're looking at $140 for 4 of these, no. Now, 4 figures for the 8-inch rubber guys, I'll pay $140 for. But for 4 inches, no, I just don't see the value there. But that is going to complete this video. So basically, I wanted to get out the review video, or the update regarding my new Holy Grail pickup. I also kind of want to show up the new blue pants British Bulldogs. That obviously was important. And to kill some time, I figured I might as well show off the bendies as well from the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. But that is it for this video, guys. And tomorrow, we return to the My Favorite LJN tournament. As always, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye, everybody.